Hi Stampers! Welcome to another week of Watch It Weekly Wednesday. I'm Beth and I wanted to share the Naturally Eclectic Suite with you today. On page 133 in your catalog, the Naturally Eclectic Suite is featured. This suite lends itself so much to texture, which I love. Even the ribbon that is kind of featured in the suite has this ruffled, kind of mashed up texture to it. The stamps are, there's two-step stamping to the stamp set. And so you get like that watercolor look with the leaves going together. There's lots of little background things so you can make little collages. The sayings are just small, so they just kind of add on to your collage. The thinlits are so fun. As I opened up and started playing with them, there are multiple things you can do with these thinlits. We even have some thinlits in this collection that just do embossing. And I've never done that before, and it added so much to some of my projects. They nestle in each other, so some you can do a bold shape, or you can cut out the outline inside of it, like these ones. So many possibilities and so much fun. This is a really, really fun shape because I got all of these shapes from this, and I just did that in a few minutes. So if you sat for a day and tried to figure out, I think the possibilities could be endless. So that's a really, really fun bundle. If you bundle the stamp set and the thinlits, you save 10% if you buy them together. And I think you're definitely going to want both of them if you're going to purchase them. So I worked a little bit with this suite to make some cards for you today. The technique that I wanted to use was to use our new embossing paste that is featured in the annual catalog this year as well. It's shown on page 201 in your catalog. We have the embossing paste, the palette knives, and the pattern party decorative masks. And if you're going to use it, I think if you get all three of those things, you won't be disappointed. Also, I think if you got a silicone mat, it would help you a lot because we mix up on this and it saves for a lot of mess. So I wanted to show you kind of the basics of this. When I first got it out and started to play with it, I wanted to just see what the white did. This is just the paste itself without mixing any color into it. It dries really, really fast, which I think is a really fun feature because you can go creating projects. You don't have to wait for a long time for it to dry. You don't even have to heat set it. You just set it aside and within a few minutes it's dry. So I just did that cute little brick detail in the white. And then I went on to do this little diamond detail. I think this might be my favorite one out of there. And I did this in Emerald Envy on lemon lime twist paper. Now, when you add ink to the embossing paste itself, because it's a white color, it does dilute it a little bit, so the color itself. So you might want to play around to make sure you're getting your colors. But my colors came out really nice and bold, but I chose some bolder colors. On this one, I did Emerald Envy on Peekaboo Peach, and that just kind of popped right out. But this medallion was cool. That's only part of it. It's nice and big, and that's included in there as well. I also wanted to show you something I thought would be really fun with this suite itself. I took this detail from the Framelit Eclectic Layers Thinlits dies, and I cut this out, and I wanted to use it as a template for a card. Now we're going to mix up our embossing paste. I'm going to do it in Emerald Envy ink. Now the embossing paste dries really, really fast, so you want to keep your lid on your embossing paste at all times, if you can. Take a little bit, maybe like a teaspoon, and put it on your silicone mat, and then close the lid on your embossing paste. Don't forget to do that. Now I've been adding 2 drops for about each teaspoon, and that's been working for me. I'd love to hear what works for you. And then you're going to kind of just mix it, play with it, get that color all throughout. Because it is white, you want to mix it really well so that all the white disappears. And there are 3 palette knives that come with the set. This thin one is the one that I've kind of taken to. The other 2, you've got a thinner one and a thicker. I think it just depends on what you're doing. And I heard someone say that if you know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you know how to use embossing paste. So it's not hard, it's quite simple. Actually, it's kind of fun. It gets a little rhythmic here trying to get your color just right. So I feel like that's good. Kind of scrape it up into a pile so it doesn't dry out. And then we're gonna apply it. Now if you're doing a shape that's nice and straight, you want it on there really, really straight, you can use washi tape to hold your template down. For me, I don't care so much about that, so I'm not gonna put it on. But washi tape is nice because it pulls right back up and it doesn't rip your cardstock. Or your paper if you're using that. So we're just going to brush this on here. I was kind of going for not a full coverage type look. I like it when it's a little grungy, messy. And I like the colors really bold. this Naturally Eclectic Suite. The paper, the designer series paper, is kind of nice and bold colored, and I really like the color scheme. So that's kind of what I'm sticking to here. Rub it on there. If you have excess, just rub it on your silicone mat. And then you want to kind of like scrape it so it's nice and even. And I should have put down washi tape because I got it all over my cardstock. So make it an even coverage, and then be prepared to be wowed. Isn't it beautiful? It's just like embossing for the first time. When you do it, you have that fun image. Mine's not very clean because I didn't put washi tape on it, but I'm sure that you will, and it will look beautiful. You do want to clean this up fairly fast. Since I used just paper, I'm just going to throw it away, but if you do use the masks, you want to wash them off very quickly. Otherwise, it will be harder to get off. Let me show you some cute samples of things I made using the Eclectic Suite and also the Embossing Paste. First, let me show you the Eclectic paper. It has kind of this cool watercolor feel to it. All these colors are just beautiful. They go so well together, but you've got like, I love this Berry Burst paper that kind of goes back and forth in color, and also in the Emerald Envy. It's lighter and darker in some areas. There's just so much you could do with this paper. It's really, really, really pretty. And the colors are pretty. So I started with this card. I love the idea of layering a lot of the things with the leaves and the ribbon. It was really, really pretty. I did the embossing paste right here in the corner. I just kept it white. I didn't add any color to it, and I liked the washed out look. I thought it added a lot of fun texture. I also stamped off, when I did the Berry Burst here, I stamped the inline first, and then the outline first, full strength, and then I stamped off the second part of the stamping, the watercolor wash over it. And I thought that was really pretty. So there's that one. I had to do this one for Jill and add some glitter to the embossing paste. If you haven't tried that, it turned out really, really neat. And I didn't even measure. I just kind of dumped some on as I was mixing it up. It got a little clumpy, so I had to work fast, but it turned out really cute, I thought. This is Berry Burst, so I did 2 drops of Berry Burst along with the embossing paste and some gold glitter that we carry. And I thought that turned out really like a cool, different texture. This is where I was talking about adding those, using those framelits that just do the embossing. It's really subtle, but when you're creating a collage, all of those little things add the texture that you're looking for, and I thought it turned out really pretty. This paper also, if you're wondering, it looks a little bit like an old color that we used to have, but it's actually this designer series paper that I used. It starts in the Emerald Envy kind of in the corner, and it washes up just out to a lighter green. So I cut these out of that same designer series paper, and I thought that turned out really cool. This one, I didn't use any embossing paste on this card, but I thought it turned out really pretty. Just along with the cutouts here and then stamping underneath them, it gave it just a lot of dimension. I thought it was really pretty. If you like the Naturally Eclectic Suite, it's featured on page 132 in your catalog. You can check out all the coordinating products there. If you'd rather shop online, you can also click the links below this video so that you can go and look at the product there. I hope that you'll love the texture and the color of this suite, and that you will have as much fun with it as I did. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.